Now we'll call all the properties, as in after loading these files, I'll gonna say if config dot get property, and we're gonna take the property browser dot equals Firefox. So what it should do, it should say driver equal to new Firefox driver, right? And if in case you're using the latest Gecko driver, you need to add system dot set property and give the key as webdriver dot gecko dot gecko dot driver, and give the path of the gecko driver exe gecko.exe file, right? So this you need to do if you're working on latest 3 release of WebDriver, right? Or if you're on 2.53.1, then use it directly like this, right? But if we are working on Chrome or IE, then if I mention Chrome over here, so I need to set the system property for webdriver.chrome.driver, and I need the path of chrome driver.exe file, right? So chrome driver exe and iDriver exe, you need to download it from Selenium HQ itself. So you can directly navigate to Selenium HQ and go to download, and you can download this is for IE. You, for 32-bit machine, you need to download this, and this is for 64-bit. If still you are on a 64-bit machine and you think that your test execution a bit slow when you're using 64-bit version, then you can download the 32-bit executable file, right? This will gonna work absolutely fine. Same thing we need to do for Chrome. For Chrome, if you go downwards, you'll find the Chrome driver. This is for Gecko driver. This is for Chrome driver. The latest one is 2.28. And for Mac, you need to download this one. For Windows, you need to download this one. Right. So Windows, no matter if it is 64-bit or 32-bit, the Chrome driver comes in 32-bit part only, right? So same thing will work for 64-bit operating system. So once you download it, I've already downloaded this and I've kept it over here. So this is the Chrome driver, this is Gecko driver, and this is iDriver. So I'll just copy these files, and just one second, copy them, and we have created a package under resources called as executables. So I'll just gonna paste all the executables over here, right? So that they comes inside the project itself, and I can directly like I need to give the path to this Chrome driver executable, so I can give it with the help of system dot get property and give the key as user.dir. Now, if you remember, we have given this to get the like the path of our current project. So the current path, we're going to get it like this, and this file is inside src folder, test, resources, and executables, and then we have this file, right? Same thing we need to do for IE. We're going to mention if the browser is IE, it should say WebDriver iDriver, and over here iDriver server.exe, right? So these are the name of Chrome driver and iDriver server.exe. So we're giving path of these files, and over here it will be Internet Explorer driver. And once we are done with this, we can say driver dot get config dot get property test site URL, right? And after this, we can do driver dot manage dot window dot maximize if you want to implement some weights like driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait, and time we're gonna take it from config dot get property, and config.get property, we're going to give the key as implicit dot wait. So we'll define this implicit wait in the property file itself. So I'll copy this from here and go to config, and I'll say implicit wait equal to 10 seconds. Right. Test site URL should be I'll just go to home and copy this and give the test site URL over here like this. Right. And then I'll go to my test base and give the time unit. I'll say time unit dot seconds. So once I'll save this, I get some error over here because implicit wait accepts a numerical argument over here. We need to convert it into integer. So I'll say integer dot parse int, and we're going to convert this value into a numeric value. Right. So this is how we're gonna declare, like we're gonna read the properties from config file, and we're gonna declare it over here like this. Right. Now let's try to create a very first test case to see if the site shows up and if we are able to like work on the very first element we have provided in the OR properties, right? So let's see whatever setup that we have done so far, is everything working fine or not. So I'll very quick go to my test cases and create a new class over here and give it the name as login test. Right, so this will be a test-ng test case. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a method over here, public void login. A method name starts from a small letter, login as bank manager. So we need to perform the bank manager login, right? And this will be @test imported through test-ng annotations, right? So here we'll be writing just driver.final. Now driver is initialized inside the test base class, so all the classes will gonna extend the test base. All our test case classes will gonna extend test base, right? So this will be a parent class for all our test cases, so that I can directly go over here and I'll say driver.find element by .xpath. Xpath will gonna come from or dot get property, and I'll say bank manager login button, right? So this is the one I'm actually referring over here, bank manager login button dot click. And I'm going to give some sleep over here. This is intentionally for the time being, so that it should not quit the application very quickly, right? Although we should avoid using thread.sleep, but once I implement the explicit wait and other things, I'll be removing this thread.sleep. This is not required. I'm just adding it to make sure that the button is clicked or not, right? And in the base class in AfterSuit, I can write driver dot quit, right? That's it. And I can add a condition over here, if driver equal to, or if driver is not null. If driver is not null, then driver dot quit, right? Because this will only gonna execute if the session is active, right? So now let's create the runner file where we'll be executing this test. So if you have not added the test-ng plugin, I would recommend that like you can add the test-ng plugin from marketplace. This will actually going to help you in creating the test-ng XML, the runner, the suit file. So you can go over here and search for, go to download, and you can install this plugin. So just copy this path and go to your Eclipse help, install new software, and paste this path, right? And sometimes you're going to see test-ng mentioned over here, right? It's fetching something at the moment, so it initially it might take few seconds to show test-ng, but once you see test-ng over here, you just need to click that option and say next, 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 and it will install TestNG plugin in your Eclipse. Right. So once TestNG is installed, you're gonna see TestNG over here. If you right click, you're gonna see TestNG. Right click on your project, and simply you can click on Convert to TestNG. This will give you the TestNG XML file. This is the TestNG XML file. Right. We will gonna keep this file inside our runner folder. Right. So this is inside src test resources runner, right, over here, and the suite name I'm gonna give as data driven basics, and the very first test that will be the login test, right, and the class that is inside this is this class, right. So let's right click over here to make sure whatever that we have defined. So far we have called so far we have initialized properties only. So let's make sure that the OR properties and the config properties are working fine. So in login test we have actually okay, I've made a mistake over here. I've called XPath. It should be by.css selector because we are working on CSS, right. So I'll just save this, right click, run as testng suite to make sure everything works fine. See, launching Chrome. Don't worry about the warnings for log4j. We have not initialized it so far. See, browser launched, navigating to the website and clicked on Bank Manager. Right. So far everything works fine and our test case over here is successfully executed. One test pass. If you refresh this project, you're going to see a test output folder generated. If you open this up, you're going to see index.html file. So this is a very basic report generated by TestNG. If I go over here and press enter. So this is a very basic report that shows the login as bank manager pass. If you don't want to see this report, there's another report over here that is emailable report. So even you can use this report as well. So just copy this, paste it, and this is your emailable report, right. But we'll not be using this emailable or the basic TestNG report. We'll be adding very advanced reporting which we can customize, where we can add screenshot, our user defined logs, right, customized logs, and whatever customization that you want to do with the report, you can do that thing. So we'll be using some of the reporting like which you may have already used or you may have heard about, something that is called as ReportNG. So we'll be working on ReportNG and we'll be using one of the most famous reporting, that is extent reports. Right, so these are the things that we'll be using, and then we'll be integrating this framework with execution from Jenkins, right? So we'll be scheduling our builds from Jenkins itself, right?